Hi everyone. So today I'm doing a little audio message just because the lighting was not really working out for me. So I thought I'd switch to an audio message today. But today I kind of wanted to actually really do a quick message for the feminine energy in the twin flame dynamic. Now, this is, regardless of your gender, you could be the divine masculine or the divine feminine. But when I'm speaking about the feminine energy, I am talking about the person that is leading in the twin flame dynamic, the individual that is the chaser, that is really leading the inner work. One has to be the runner, the other one is the chaser. So the one that is, was chasing, and hopefully if you're listening to this message now, you're no longer the chaser. You have taken all of that focus from your twin and put that back onto yourself like you're supposed to do. But it can take some time for you to really realize that this is what this journey is about. So hopefully you have switched from being the victim in the twin flame dynamic and have taken back your control, because really what this journey is truly about is the feminine energy that is leading in this dynamic, taking back your power, taking back all that attention and energy that you are leaking outside of yourself and turning that back onto your own self, and really focusing on your inward journey, focusing on your own inner union. And then, as you go along on this journey, at some point you will be able to unite with your twin on the outside. However, this message today that I really wanted to kind of do is for the feminine energy on your journey, because you face a lot of obstacles trying to get to inner union. And one of them that is most prominent that you will come across is self sabotage. Now, self sabotage can look very different for each individual on this journey, but really, what I'm talking about here is the mental overthinking, having those self limiting beliefs that really stop you. That, external validation that you're looking for on the outside, the clues you're looking for on the outside that end up halting your progress on this journey. And really, if that is happening to you, what you want to really ensure that you are doing is shifting all of that focus back onto yourself. One of the biggest challenges that you will have to overcome on your healing journey is really understanding your own patterns and behaviors, because unless you do, they will slow you down on your journey. This journey is about self mastery, which means a huge part of the journey and your battle is about understanding how you might be getting in your own way. Now, of course, this is going to look different for everybody, but what you're being asked to do on this journey is to really show up consistently, whether that's in meditation, showing up for yourself, showing and, really giving yourself those healthy boundaries, making sure that you're loving yourself on this journey, whatever that pattern looks like for you. You have to make sure that you are not your own obstacle. And what I mean by that is, let's say that you are easily distracted, and therefore, every time it's, maybe your time to sit down for meditation, you end up scrolling through your phone, and before you know it, you no longer have time for meditation. Or let's say you know that there are certain people that maybe rattle your energy, but yet, because you're unable to let go of that group, because, you've been close to them all your life, you keep meeting up with them. And you know that when you come back from meeting with that group, it has a massive impact on your energy. But if you keep going against those inner nudges, those patterns that you're seeing, you're not going to make that progress. So, as part of this, getting to that inner union and really mastering your own self and your own patterns and healing on this journey, you are going to have to be cautious of what's coming forward and really making sure that you're addressing it. Otherwise, you will keep looping on the journey until you take care of what's in front of you. Sometimes, it's easy for a nudge to come through. Your maybe higher self or your intuition is guiding you, but you're ignoring it. And, it's sometimes it's very subtle, you don't even realize it. But when it gets louder and louder and you're still ignoring it, just know that until you take the necessary action, you will not be able to move forward. That is what self-mastery is actually about, is making sure that you really understand that pattern, you identify it, and then you rectify it. The one thing is about this journey that it's either you will learn these lessons with ease or they are going to get louder and louder and louder until you are forced to really understand what's being taught to you here. And so you want to try and really stick to that meditation on a daily basis so that your intuition can get louder, your higher self can guide you better. And then really once that, guidance comes through, making sure that you are actually implementing what it's asking you to, because until you do, you will not be able to move forward. Just remember that it's not important to really understand how these patterns came to be, but what does matter is that you choose in that moment, once you recognize what it is to fix it. Because literally, bit by bit, as you move through the chakra system, with each chakra, you're gonna, really come across new challenges and new patterns that you're being asked to really transmute and transform. So, as this happens for you, make sure that you are taking full accountability of recognizing what's ahead of you and really changing that so that you can move forward on this journey. If you feel like you're stuck somewhere, it's probably because there's a lesson there that has not yet been integrated. Another big one to really watch for is your negative thoughts and your self-limiting beliefs. If you catch yourself, thinking about something that you wish you didn't think about, that in itself is a big red flag that you are recognizing, and there is some form of awareness that the thought pattern that is occurring for you in the moment is not something that you want to dwell on further. But if you are having a full on conversation, building a story around a negative thought, or whatever that thought pattern is that looks like for you, you want to stop. Any sort of a negative thought pattern that shows up for you and you catch yourself really drifting away with it, what you want to do is really ask yourself, is this thought pattern impacting me in any sort of way right here, right now, in the present moment? And if the answer to that is, no, it's not, then that means that you are getting carried away with that thought, creating new strings and webs attached to it, building stories around it, having a dialogue with it. And that is what is going to keep persisting. Whether this is regarding your twin, something else, it doesn't matter. Just recognize that pattern and you want to stop it right there. When you do this enough and you keep bringing yourself back to the present moment, you will finally end that cycle with that thought pattern. So, just, the first step is bringing awareness to the fact that this is happening. Second is really thinking about how that's impacting you right here and right now. And if it has nothing to do with your present moment, then you absolutely need to find a way to let that go rather than getting entangled with thinking about it 100 different ways. This journey is definitely not easy, but one of the best things you can do is bring awareness to everything that you're doing. That is what this journey is really calling you to do. And the more and more you do this again and again, you will step into your full power, become radiant, become magnetic, and aligned for your twin flame journey and union. Because the moment you master yourself, everything else will begin to align. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this was helpful. God bless.